Hey guys, Sean here with Blanchard Farms. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding my rabbit keeping, so I thought I'd make a short video today just to go through my tips and tricks with my experience of rabbit keeping, specifically going into winter here in a climate like Saskatchewan, Canada, where an average winter day can range anywhere from minus 23 degrees Celsius all the way down to like a minus 40 night, where keeping animals can be not only strenuous, but can be stressful, uh, it can be hard and overwhelming. So I'm just going to give you some quick tips and tricks, just with specifications to rabbits, and just a few things regarding the winter as well. So let's get started here, okay? Alright, my first tip is kind of a common sense tip. It basically is whatever you're trying to keep, um, get some knowledge about it first. Know what you're going to be doing and dealing with. Get to know the species that you want to keep. Know what they need, know what they demand, know how well they do through cold climates. Uh, get breeds specifically for cold climates. That's the same with chickens as well. Um, get, read, Google, grab a book. Uh, somebody who has, in this case specifically, rabbits, spend some time with them. Get to know what breeds you like. Uh, Based on what you have to deal with, example, barn, whatever your housing situation is going to be for them, do some research and base your decisions off of that. Learn as you go. You will learn through experience. You will learn through mistakes. You will learn through just having them around. Spend time with them. If you work a full-time job, um, it's hard, it's demanding, but, you know, maybe make it a routine that when you come home or before you leave, walk through your barn, talk to them, say hi, whatever. Uh, just get to know your animal that you're going to be keeping. That's my number one tip. Let's go to tip number two. All right, tip number two, again, um, for me is basically common sense, but might not be for everybody. It's number two is get them out of the elements. Uh, Again, regarding really cold climates, this is applies. So if you have hutches that are outside, you might want to just put some, if there's some air way that any way that the wind can get in, you just might want to put something solid up against that. Just make it basically so they can just get in and out of a little tiny hole. You want to make sure that their bedding is dry. You want to make sure that they have a lot of it. You also want to make sure that they have a lot of food that will keep them healthy and a little bit, not fat, but you want to keep their energy going to keep them warm, basically. Some people like to keep them in a colony. If you have does and bucks that will live great together through the winter, that's a good option to keep them warm. It all depends on what you're using for housing, honestly. Me, in the summer, my grow-outs, they all go in rabbit tractors. So during the warmer months, and they're all outside anyways, but that just won't do in our Saskatchewan winters. So I do have the awesome ability to actually have them in an attached garage, non-heated. It is insulated, but this makes my life and their life a lot easier. Not everybody has the ability to have this set up, but that's how I keep mine out of the wind and out of the elements through the winter. They all come in here, and it's not heated. Their water does freeze overnight through the day, but it's a lot better than keeping them in the rabbit tractor there that just won't do through the winter. So that's tip number two. Get them out of the elements if you do have them outside. Just modify your hutch a little bit. They do well in the winter. Like they're very adaptable animal through the winter. But the thing is, like I say, if you keep an animal penned up or in a cage or anything, you just have to make sure that they are able to take care of themselves the same way that they would in nature. So that being said, uh, yeah, just keep them out of the elements, the wind. Let them have something that they can burrow in, or at least provide enough bedding and hay and straw that they can make their burrows. Keep them together if you have animals to get along. Um, that's the best I could probably tell you for tip number 2. Let's go to tip number 3. All right, so tip number 3 is going to be regarding cleaning and doing some basic housekeeping. What I do is I like my droppings to fall through the cages. So what I do is I place my those cages on pallet boards here, and they're covered in shavings, and then they simply just drop through her cage and onto the shavings. I can simply lift the cage up, do a quick spot clean every day, and then once a week I will lift the cage up also and scrape everything off. With that being said, that makes it easy for me because I am simply have access to just take it outside here. So that works for me. Everybody is different and has a different setup, obviously, so it may be different for you, but it is a quick and easy way to get them lifted off a little bit. One over there, I actually have a pallet right upside down with the boards off, and she's up about 2 inches, and then same thing, I just scrape it off and be done with it. What I do also recommend for me, has worked best for me actually, is I buy at my local feed store, I will buy a 40-pound bag of food grade diatomaceous earth, and I will put that down. When I spot clean, I put it down on any wet spots. When I do the full clean, I put that down as a first layer. And they love it as well. Like, rabbits do love dust bathing. And I will put some in their little nesting box, just a tiny little bit in the nesting boxes on the first part of their hay there. Usually before the kits are born. And she just loves it. Just roll around a little bit in it there and helps keep her clean, everybody happy. And yeah, it's a great tool around here. It's a lifesaver. It will do. Make sure I put it in when I do the full clean, I will put it in any crack, any crevice, anything, because this stuff will get rid of the mites, lice, anything like that. Also, in another video, I'll explain and show you guys how diatomaceous earth actually is a natural dewormer. Food grade, sorry, not diatomaceous earth, is a great natural dewormer for all of our animals, and actually including humans if you must. But anything from cats, dogs, to horses, goats, pigs, everybody. But that will be another video. Yeah, so that's about it for... Oh, quick note, the hay. We will have a video on how to make basic hay feeders. For right now, I don't have them in these cages, but I do put just a little handful for them. They always have it, mind you, for munching on, for grinding, for stimulation, but they will, if you do put an abundance of hay all the time in your cages, they can give your bunnies severe ear mites. It lives on the hay, and then it develops, like wet hay, you'll notice your bunnies will start getting scabby ears, very itchy, and it's because of the wet, nasty hay that will accumulate in their cage. So, if you do have that condition, simply dropping a few drops of oil in their ear, mineral, vegetable, just a little bit, will actually help that, get rid of those mites and soothe that itchiness for your rabbits. Yeah, anyway. Okay, on to tip number 4. 4, I think we're on. All right, let's go to tip number 4. So for tip number 4, it's basically, again, going back to boredom and enrichment. Depending on your setup and what you have for a barn, you may need some activities for enrichment exercises for any animals through the winter. My grow outs, I keep in a group. They're very good in a group with that. They don't get bored. I have nobody trying to escape. They always have their food. They always have hay to munch on. They have some wood in there to munch on. I have sticks that I've kept for the fall that I'll throw in, and they just munch on them. But they also have like other animals. I have Daisy and Daffy in here. And they like to just be together. I'll walk by the window here and they'll just be in a big group sleeping. So for enrichment for these grow outs, that's basically all I do for them, as long as they have each other. Again, it does depend on your situation. It does depend on if your animals get along well with each other or whichever. My bucks and my does I keep side by side just so they have something there. I always have something for them to pull their hay into and to keep themselves warm if they need to bunker down and do that. But they honestly don't get bored too much. The does are so busy with their kits and eating and nursing. You can see some kits in there now. That they don't really get too bored. And honestly, like I said, make sure that they do have hay. That will be helpful. Nesting box, they might chew on that if they get bored. Mine haven't yet, but if they do, just make sure you have untreated wood. Nesting boxes for me, I do make and sell them. Untreated wood, and they're awesome. All my kits have come from these nesting boxes, and they're great in the winter to keep everybody toasty and warm. But that's basically it for boredom. Once again, like you know your animals and you get to know them individually and know what they need for stimulation, for boredom, etc. Mine don't like to be held. Like the does are very protective. I have New Zealand, and I have purebred New Zealand. I have purebred Californian, and then I have a cross of the two. And when they have babies, they are not friendly. They are out to get me. Like, even if I'm doing everything for them, but they will still deliberately run and attack me if if they have kits. So they are friendly otherwise. When they don't have kits, they're amazing. They're docile. My kid picks them up. Like, they're awesome. But when they have kits, I personally, in my experience, I don't find them that friendly. So they don't like to be messed around with. So the boredom thing doesn't really honestly apply to them. So let's go on to tip number 5, and that's going to be regarding water. So let's do that here real quick. Alright, with tip number 5, water, honestly, it's as simple as I don't deal with bottled waters, rabbit waters, hoses. I don't deal with water heaters in the winter. When you're battling something that's inevitable, like Mother Nature, it can all get really annoying and a waste of my time. So I just honestly, like, I'll haul my water, and for here, I'm so close to my house that bringing jugs of water here are no problem. I have access to a hydrant, and we also use the hose attachment to the house. The hose will not freeze unless it's very, 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 very minus 40 cold. The hydrant will freeze, like today is minus 5. And I'm talking Celsius, so it's minus 5 degrees Celsius today. Other than that, if I have to run to my house, I'm so close to my house that if I have to run to the house for a quick jug of water 4 times through the winter, that's no big deal for me. So, tip number, what are we on? 5. Water. Rubber bowls. Rubber bowls, I use rubber bowls for everybody. Goats, pigs, horse, no, not horse, sorry. Goats, pigs, rabbits, everybody, chickens gets a rubber bowl. I find it way easier just to smash it out. I haul my water. It's great exercise for me. I have a sleigh I can pull it on, or if I feel really ambitious and want to work my traps, I'll carry the buckets. I'm just kidding. No, but I like water. Yeah, rubber bowls are where it's at. Fill them maybe to halfway, 3/4 of the way full. Makes it easy to smash them out. You can smash them with your feet. I've smashed them with a sledgehammer. Nothing has ruined my rubber bowls. Even in the summer, I use them. I don't use the drinkers. Every time I use a drinker, it either leaks, breaks, or does something. So, rubber bowls I've always used. I always will. I clean them in the summer. They'll get algae if they're in the sun. You give them a good thorough clean. Rinse them out every day. Yeah. And then, honestly, if you have a setup like me and you can dump it and smash it, I simply just open the garage door here, smash it outside. But smash it away from your door, because if you're like me last year, my first time in here, I didn't even really think, and I just, smashed it all over the ground right here. Well, by the end of the winter, I had a good pile of ice that, well, what happens when ice melts in the spring? Where do you think it goes when there's a hill? Whoop! Yeah, so it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer, right? Dump it away from your door. You are finding you're having a hard time with the water, keeping up with it, especially like overnight or something. Give them a little bit of their water in their bowl overnight, but also just give them a little bowl of snow. They love it. They love to play in it. It keeps them hydrated, and it's just a really good tip for if you have to leave for a day, overnight even. Fill their feeders up, fill their hay feeder up, give them a little bit of bowl of water, give them a bowl of snow, and they're good until you get back for a night. The winter does have its shitty things, but it also does have a lot of good benefits. There's no like stinky smells, there's no bugs, there's no bloody heat. You just gotta roll with it and deal with what comes day by day. It does get cold, yes, but like I said, if you know your species, if you know and take the time to understand them, what everybody needs, you'll do great. They're easy to keep, they're fun to keep, they're very rewarding to keep. Alright, last tip of the day, number 6. If you're able to, if you have electricity in your setup, I recommend just playing a little music for your animals through the winter. Mine's on 24/7 all the time, winter, summer, whatever, but I recommend playing some music for them. It helps with the boredom. It helps them, I don't know, I think they like it, honestly. And it also does help, like, even if we're in an attached garage here, we still do live out in the country, and everything for a rabbit as a predator can be something simple, from a cat who wants the kits to a coyote or a fox. We've had fox come right in close to the house and try to steal kittens and stuff, so it does help deter anything that may be snooping around. But yeah, music, man. I think it helps the animals. They love it, and why not? Like our page on Facebook, Blanchard Farms, Farm Fresh Food SK. Find us on Facebook at that spot. Also, if you like what you see and want to watch more videos of how to do things, DIY, anything like that, like and subscribe to our YouTube page. We'll always have some videos up there, coming up there. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.